Hey, almost any time you buy a home in the United States, you're going to pay $400 or so to have somebody do a home inspection. I don't think there's really a specific person that does this type of work here in Mexico. I definitely haven't heard of anyone in Ziwa that does this. If you're buying a new condo, then you should expect to receive a 1-year warranty, and this could give you some peace of mind that any issues that arise in the first year should be resolved. However, most used homes and condos are sold as is, so you're generally responsible for doing your own home inspection. So today I'm going to give a short list of things you should think about when buying a home. A do-it-yourself home inspection. This won't be all encompassing, so if you're buying a house that has a pool, a soaking tub, solar panels, an alarm system, then you'll definitely want to kick the tires there, or perhaps have an expert take a look to make sure there aren't any expensive upcoming repairs. And this is geared more towards houses, but some of these checklist items are valid for condominiums too. By the way, a pool under a mango tree has been quite the learning experience. You get 4 months of leaves falling into the pool, then you get 4 months of mangoes thanks to the squirrels dropping into the pool, then another 4 months of leaves falling into the pool. I need a full-time guy, not named me, that picks up the leaves and mangoes from the patio in the pool area. Okay, anyways, back to the inspection. First thing is to check the access and the perimeter, entry gates or the doors, the security of the property. Is there an electric fence or good lighting? How does the property compare with the neighbors? Is there anything out of the ordinary? You don't want to be the one house on your street with the easy to jump wall. Most crime here is more opportunistic. You know, you leave a bicycle in front of your house, you're going to gamble a little bit whether it's there an hour later. So just some basic security is important. Continuing outside, as most properties are concrete, has the concrete been cared for, or is it falling apart? You are looking for cracks and specifically exposed rebar. You want to check the support beams and the columns. All of this is repairable, but should be a priority if you buy. It will also give a good indication of how well the house as a whole has been cared for. Our house was not cared for at all based on the condition of the concrete in the several years prior to us buying it. Concrete is generally pretty low maintenance, but it does require some maintenance. Anything wood, windows, doors, cabinets, shelves, you're going to want to check for evidence of termites. Again, if it's protected, then you shouldn't have any problems. But obviously, if it's not, the termites will disintegrate that stuff over time. On the roof and windows, you'll want to check for evidence of leaks and issues of drainage. It's a bit difficult, but the simplest way is to look for signs of water running down walls, faded paint lines where the water flows on the outside of the house. And the same goes for the outdoor patio areas. Where does the water flow? Obviously, you want to make sure any water drainage is flowing away from your property. We can have some pretty heavy rains here in the summer, and several years of owning this property, and we're still working on our drainage issues. If the home has tinacos on the roof, those cylinder-looking water tanks, take a look inside. Has the tinaco ever been cleaned? Can you easily access it and clean it on a regular basis if you buy the home? Check the water pressure inside with the showers and the sinks. You can often see the drainage tubes for the house on the exterior, and check those. You definitely want to make sure the toilets have 4-inch tubes, or else you may have some issues with clogged toilets. Then take a look at the cistern. What size is it and how does it look? The properties that don't have a big enough cistern often have to order water trucks to keep up with their demand, as the city limits the amount of water you receive per month. Check to see if it's full. If no one is staying on the property, then it should be full of water. We can have periods of 3 or 4 straight days where water is not delivered. So a cistern that holds 10,000 liters or more should be enough to cover 6 or 8 people during those dry periods. Check the water heaters, or the boilers as they're called here in Mexico. How many do you have? Is that a sufficient number for the number of rooms you have on the property? What kind of condition are they in? We had to replace one of our 2 water heaters when we bought the house, but the other one is one that we had when we bought the place. How big is your propane tank? For a 4-bedroom property like ours, you're going to want at least 180-liter tank. This should give you 4 to 6 weeks before you'll have to reorder a gas truck to come out to your house and refill it. Follow those propane lines as well, because you don't want them buried in concrete, and you really need to be able to locate them all in case there's an issue. Open up the registro, or the poop box, in front of your house if you can, and check the sewer drainage for good flow. If you watched any of our previous videos, you've seen we had some issue with that situation, and fortunately we got it all sorted out, but our neighbor also had some problems too, and he's in the process of getting that figured out. So you definitely, if it's possible, you should check that. The AC units may be the biggest portion of your electricity bill. So you'll want to see what type of AC units you have, how old they are, and how well insulated the house is to keep the cool air in. Can you easily access the outdoor unit, the condenser for maintenance repair too? Is the electricity grounded? You can check the outlets to see if they are grounded with the GFCI tester to prevent potential hazards. I used this volt tester and GFCI tester here to check the electricity in our house, and it wasn't great. How many outlets are there? Older houses generally only have maybe 2 or 4 in a room. They really didn't put a lot of emphasis on access to electricity and outlets, while the newer houses will have 4 outlets on every single wall. Also, take a look at the electricity bill. If you're buying a multi-unit property, then you should have at least 2 meters, and some of them will have 3 or 4. Because Mexico subsidizes electricity up to a certain point, if you have 1 meter for a 2 or 3 unit property, then you may end up being put into a higher price bracket, paying 3 times the electrical rate of your neighbors. Normal use of electricity for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house over 2 months is about 1,500 to 5,000 pesos. If you need 230 volt power versus 115, then you should check on that too. We changed from 115 to 230 on the advice of others, and it was fairly expensive. I still don't know if it was worth it. Check how many circuit breakers there are. Most new homes have 40 circuit breakers, but that's not really the case here in Mexico. So you may have to do some electrical work to add appliances to your property. If you want decent internet, then contact Telmex or Megacable, the internet providers here in Ziwa, to see if high-speed internet is available at the home. If the home currently has internet, then there are apps you can download to test the internet speed. We have great internet here with our mesh system, but there are some areas of Ziwa with really nice homes, but still don't have access to high-speed internet. Other things to consider: how close is the house to the neighbors? Do you have access to all 4 walls of the exterior of your house? Or are you going to have to gain permission from a neighbor to access a wall if there's an issue with plumbing or electrical or whatever? Oftentimes those things, plumbing, electrical, run on the exterior of the house. If your house has tight borders with the main street or your neighbors, then I'd now recommend getting a surveyor to check the boundaries and make sure that the entire house falls within your property lines. If you've seen our videos, you know we had an issue regarding our property line a few months ago. And I've also done some videos that expand on tinacos and cisterns, electricity, air conditioners, roofs, and so on. and perhaps there's something useful if you're thinking of buying a home. I'd highly recommend visiting the property during all hours to see if there's any sounds, restaurants with loud music, barking dogs, street noise, etc. that you wouldn't be able to live with if you were to purchase the house. And really get someone with a good sniffer to comb over the property. It'd be a bummer to buy something and then realize there's often trash smells wafting or wafting, what's the right word? Wafting through the house. Speaking of smells, where's the trash deposited? Does everyone put their own garbage in front of their house? Or does it go in one spot at the end of the street? Or is that one spot right in front of your house? Is it picked up regularly? If you get serious about purchasing, do an inventory of the property and its contents before making an offer. Homes are generally sold with their contents included, and tools, plants, furniture, and so on can disappear between when an offer is made and you putting the deposit on the property. I hope this gives you a few things to think about before buying your property here in Mexico. Let me know what I missed, and thanks for watching. Take care.